Greetings and salutations, malefactors and YouTubers. We are starting the teardown process for the WR400. So there's a few things that I've noticed that are kind of interesting. Previous owner used regular screws for the chain guard. One of them came out nice and easy, the other one's starting to strip, so we're going to be peeling that off. The big goal for today is to take the rear suspension and the front suspension off. And normally I would do a few videos about showing me fixing all this, but I don't have the know-how to successfully do a rear suspension. I've taken a few apart, but I've never successfully gotten one back together. And I'm getting a package deal for the front, so I figure the price is so good around here, I'll go out to Leander, Texas and see what Keps has to offer as far as fixing the suspension up. So basically we're going to do a tear down, get both wheels off, get the suspension out, and then start surveying the damage and taking out any improper fasteners. Now, this is one thing that you will kind of run into when you start dealing with older bikes. You have a lot of really weird mismatched fasteners. So you take inventory whenever you're working on this so you can know what you need to replace. All your hoses on your carburetors will generally be borked up, so order a little, all your new hoses, reroute those properly. Chain sprockets are totally trashed on this, so before I peel both wheels off, we're going to work on getting this sprocket off and getting everything kind of just torn down and ready for the rebuild. So phase one's really just going to be suspension, chain guide, chain sprockets, replacing all of the weird mismatched fasteners. The petcock is actually a bit leaky, so we're going to take that. We're going to yank the tank off, polish it up, get it prepped while I'm kind of waiting on all the parts to come in. We're going to ditch the fender, the shrouds, and I also noticed that the boot's missing its hose clamp. So when we kind of get everything peeled off the back, I'll probably put a few of those extra parts on order. So kind of the first problem I'm running into is the screws. For some unknown reason, previous owner used Phillips head to put the chain guard back on. So I'm gonna have to pull the lever and see if I can't get some luck of getting a set of channel locks or locking pliers to get that bad boy off. And there's going to be a pretty comprehensive rebuild on this bike. Eventually we're going to crack into the engine and everything else, but I'm basically at first going to focus on basic functionality of the bike. The big goal here will be getting it rideable as quickly as possible. And it's just like minimum rideability, not fully restored. That's going to be kind of a long process. But I'm kind of eager to get the decompression on it, do a leak down test, get the hot cams on it, get a new cam chain. And I thought we had a leak from the center cases, but after cleaning it, which is the first thing you should do before you start one of these teardowns, is actually clean the bike so you don't introduce schmutz into various other parts of the bike. There wasn't a leak from the center cases, it was just from the clutch side, and I'm just gonna tear that all off and see what the condition of the basket and the clutch fingers and all that stuff is, the plates. Doing a full clutch isn't really laborious. If it's in good shape, I'll slap it back together. If it's in bad shape, I'll tear it down to the basket and start over. So when you're working in a budget on getting a lot of these parts, yeah, it's good to order OEM, and I could, go out and get a Henson basket, but the first thing you'll want to do before you start just going out and willy-nilly buying parts is do a search on eBay for NOS parts, new old stock. Like, for example, that's still in good shape. For example, like my clutch basket for the RM125, everywhere was $220 to $280. After searching around on eBay, I found a NOS, or new old stock clutch basket. Oh, goodness, it's not quite tight enough. New old stock clutch basket for, around $120. Saved quite a bit of cash there. I didn't have to drill out any rivets and reassemble a Henson basket. Thank goodness. I was really hoping I didn't have to drill this out. So when you do come across a PO that uses screws and they start to strip, your set of pliers, get them tightened down as tight as you can get them and try pulling it off that way. You'll find the smaller screws on your carburetor too will sometimes suffer that fate. So it's always good to keep a set of locking pliers handy. So we're going to see how quickly I can field dress and remove the whole back half of this bike and the forks in the front wheel. We might speed up a couple of these parts. And we're definitely going to replace all these schlocky fasteners. That is not going to abide on a bike I restore. You know, it's not always the best idea to just find a fastener that fits the location. Oh, okay, I know my garage is a complete mess. I've been very busy with the holidays, and there's been a few family things going on that's kind of kept me from having the time to dedicate to a clean and happy garage. You know, I wonder, why are you using a little nut driver? Well, this one's actually partially stripped out. But also when you're hammering these lock washers up, there's usually a tab on them, and it gets you a little bit better purchase on it. When I'm doing stuff like this, I don't like to abuse my good screwdrivers either. Alrighty. Fortunately, we're gonna have to do a little bit of good screwdriver abuse. Now, one reason I'm really big on getting all of this loosened up and pulled off is once you pull the back tire on this, getting the front sprocket off is going to be very tough. Because these are normally, these are normally not finger tight. Oh goodness, that's giving me a little bit of heartburn. So normally at 56 foot-pounds. So you'll basically take like a weight and a hook and lock the rear brake with the chain and everything on, and then you'll either torque this down or up to 56 foot-pounds. Always make sure that the embedded sides on that side, every time you change the chain, get a new one of these locking washers. So hand tight. Well, that tracks. That completely tracks. But I said I was going to take on a project. I'm very serious about this taking on a project deal. Now what I'm doing right now is looking for a break in the chain. There's my little clip. Peel this clip off. Now that we've loosened the hand tight locking washer, I'll probably speed through some of this. Goodness, this poor chain's been abused too. All right. Get some snot-nosed pliers. I'm gonna ditch this chain anyway. It's not really worth anything. I could just cut or break this off. I'm really trying to be gentle with the stuff that I'm working on, but Every once in a while I'm just not given the option. God dang. There we go. That goes in the trash. Yeah, pins are seized up on here. Alright, we're gonna get something with a little more oomph. My high-tech chain removal tool. Dang. Whew. Almost be easier just to saws all this chain off. Alright, we're gonna hit it with a little bit of penetrating oil. Let it think about what it's done. We'll continue pulling other parts off while I do this. I can't believe that was finger tight. That is absolutely frightening. So to get this shock, the best way to get at this shock is to get your subframe pulled off. You know, to take apart every bit of it. And I actually have a drawer completely dedicated to parts of where I'm working on the current project. Let's see what fastener we've got on this side. So we've got a weird Allen of some sort. That's why I said buying used bikes like this is definitely not an adventure for the faint of heart. Eventually I'm gonna probably move or sell this old Plymouth, but my dad was the car project guy, I was the bike project guy. Never really had a strong interest in car renovation. I helped him with some of the mechanical stuff as far as sourcing parts and everything, but for the most part that was his baby. Oh boy, that's not filling me with a sense of well-being. Those threads are looking a little bit knackered. I'll put them in my parts cup here in a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna need about a 12 or a 13. Yeah, let's grab that socket. Whew, there's the wife's bike. That was another Craigslist find that I worked on. That thing was rough when I first got it. I need a 13. And a 12. That's 11. You know, it's always invariably when you go work on a bike, you find all of the odd-sized sockets. Let's see. Try 13 first. Fits like a glove. I'm usually within 1 millimeter of whatever I've got to peel off. I'm gonna need to worry about getting some heat shield on this bad boy whenever I get the side plates. So that was another thing I noticed is the Gingy Beard, who did a restoration on a bike like this, got the YZ426 fuel tank and the seat, and apparently someone's already done that mod for me, so I don't need to go source those parts. But then that same person spray painted a rattle can to gas tank. Well, they rattle canned the whole friggin' bike. Seat didn't come with any screws, so we're gonna be working on that. Actually, the seat's in pretty good shape. There's another thing you'll notice when you're working on old bikes. Got a surprise no air filter. So before I put this back on here, I need to thoroughly clean this box and obviously buy an air filter. Goodness. So these are kind of things you would look for. This is normally where you would be shopping for a used bike and seeing red flags go off. Like, no, I probably shouldn't take on this project. In my case, I look at it and get filled with a sense of glee, honestly. I'm like, oh, goodness, I could totally polish this. And generally I can. Alright. Another one of these stupid Phillips head screws. Hopefully I don't have it wrenched in there tight. Oh no, it's super loose. Phillips heads are about the worst thing you can use when you're just rigging up a bike. Toss that. They keep the washers, but I'm gonna toss that fastener. We're not gonna be the aisle of misfit toys anymore. Alrighty, we're back. I found my Torx bit. And this thing is so cheesy, it feels like it's plastic. That's another one for the junk fastener pile. Yeah. Junkity junk junk junk. Junkity junk McJunkerson. Alrighty. Subframe. That fender's gonna just be tossed. I need to be super gentle with it, but I don't like to just break stuff willy-nilly. The Airbox, which I've seen better days. You know, I'm surprised this bike had almost 170 pounds of compression. It's a Christmas miracle. I guess it really wasn't ran that much without an air filter. I'll be double checking all of the stuff on this when I get the bike back together. Come here, little peepa. Things been beaten up a little bit. Oh, it's an FMF. You think you go through all the trouble getting an aftermarket exhaust, but don't bother to do the decompression mod on this? Yeah, the guy really liked the combination lock kick. That takes a little bit of special talent to be able to decipher the combination lock kick. Me personally, I'm not too terribly interested in it. All right, getting a little close to meat potatoes. I'm gonna take these good fasteners, put them in the project drawer. Bad fasteners will go in a magnetic cup later. So, alright, we're looking at Now we're looking at first blocking this carburetor off so we don't have a bunch of schmutz get in here. Shop rag, paper towel do the trick. The thing to note with these WRs is you look for a cracked or damaged slide. The slide looks like it's actually pretty pristine. All right, get all new vent tubes on you. We're gonna tighten all your bits and bobs. That's for a later date though. Alright, keep you from getting all doity. Let's find our proper sockets for this. I have a feeling these are going to be mighty hard to get off. I need to also work on getting a lid for this so I can dispose of it. I'll probably just put it in my oil deal. I get ready to ditch it. Don't drink out of it, kids. So I'm guessing that's a 15 or a 16. 17 is gonna be too big. Let's try that 16. I might be wrong. No, I'm a little off. These are closer to 14, 15. Well, you can't be right every time. All right, we got 14. Hold one side of it. Someone right now is having a fit looking at the state of my tools. Bit of a story behind that. Yeah, sometimes when folks start getting a little bit in advanced years and start having faculty issues, especially when they're very fond of working on stuff, sometimes they feel the urge to come out and reorganize your stuff. Or just flat take it. I had a whole bunch of tools get strewn all about and changed up for me. And repurposed and lost. So, that's another part of the reason. That's part of why things have been a little bit busy around here. That's also part of the reason why my garage is in such a state. Also, a large part of the reason why my tools are in such a state. Oh, it definitely does bother me. But I mean, you know. Sometimes there's those times in your life where things are just kind of going crazy. Like, well, things are so crazy. Why are you working on bikes? So this is one of the things that keeps me kind of sane-ish. Keyword-ish. Operative term there, ish. Sane-ish. Kinda sane. Little therapeutic. It's like how they call it, ride therapy or BRAP therapy. Same principle. Sometimes a little easier to take an impact or something like that after this. Oh goodness. Oh goodness, that is it's quite fetching. See if I have any more luck with the wrench. Lefty loosey. Oh, don't tell me that we got a little roundy. Oh, 14's the right size. Yeah, no, that fits like a glove. But Previous owner got a little roundy. Little roundy. Well, that's certainly something. Make sure your stuff is snug before you start giving it a bug in the rug. Might have enough gusto to make this happen. Yeah, I could probably dig up a larger wrench and a reducer, or the breaker bar and a reducer. The deal is with the reducer, you run the risk of snatching the reducer off. Goodness. Woo! Give it a little razzle dazzle. Yeah, let's grab a shop rag for that. That's going to be painful. Feel like I'm back at back in the day, back at Jiffy Lube, getting drain plugs off. I don't like to just go at things that air ratchet and impact if I can avoid it. Hey, yeah, I mean, it's a way to go about it. But sometimes you mess up more than you actually successfully get off. I think if it all else fails, you should try to get it off with your bare hands and a little bit of mechanical assistance. Well, now there we are. Whoop! Come here, feller. Go in the good fastener pile. GH, good Hank. You guys haven't noticed a lot of the stuff I end up watching on YouTube is the King of the Hill YouTube poop. I'm a huge fan of that stuff. It's hilarious. GH for good Hank. Now, boy, this thing is just lit up beyond comparison. You're about to watch this wheel get a little lower. Yeah. Whoop. And not that much lower. Well, hello, shock. Check your bearings. See, maybe I got to peel that feller out and re-grease it. So your grease actually isn't on the bolt itself, it's on this two-part bearing. Oh, this fat boy got to get down. Take a knee. Of course it's bolted on the other side. We got, it feels like a 12 or a 13. It feels like the Stig. Definitely not a 13. What do we got? Probably a Phillips head. That would check for today. Oh crap. Ooh, goodness. Well, it's gonna be fun. Still got some semblance of suspension in there. Yeah, I know, I've got a proper motorcycle jack over there. Okay, so that's kind of a big fella. I go over there with the 14. We'll take a trip to the other side. Of course. There we go. Ouch, fat guy. Thinking to yourself, how do you work with such an inadequate amount of space? Answer that question rather carefully. Well, the thing is, I didn't want to take all this stuff apart and then be stuck without the ability to move it back in the garage. Do we have an aftermarket spring on here? That might be good or bad news for me. Boo, 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 boo. Well, isn't that the weirdest banjo bolt you've ever seen? Alright, stay on target. That's a weird banjo bolt. I have a feeling that would be a whole different sort of adventure. Oh man, that shock is just puking fluid out the bottom. At least these bolts are well lubricated to go out. Get back up, peel that bad boy out. Ooh, hello, feller. Smells like it's been oiled with rear differential fluid. That old GL5. Whoa. Oh, God dang. That's a smell you never forget if you've ever worked in quick lube. Takes days to get that stuff out. Oh my God.